Welcome to Life and Facts documentary, where we uncover the world's most fascinating secrets. Today, we're journeying to Scotland to reveal shocking facts you never knew about this mystical land. Get ready for 22 shocking Scotland facts you didn't know travel documentary. Scotland's mysterious Loch Ness Monster. But that's just the beginning of Scotland's incredible mysteries. Let's dive into the shocking truths that make Scotland truly extraordinary. 1. The world's oldest tree lives in Scotland. Deep in the heart of Perthshire, in a quiet churchyard, stands a living relic of a bygone world, the Fordingal yew. While its exact age is a mystery, experts place it somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 years old, making it one of the most ancient living things in Europe. The reason for the uncertainty lies at its core. The heartwood, which would allow for precise dating, rotted away centuries ago. This silent giant was already ancient when the Romans marched into Scotland. It has stood witness to Pictish kings, Viking raids, and the birth of the Scottish nation. Local legend even whispers that Pontius Pilate was born in its shade. Today, the tree is a collection of smaller stems, its once massive trunk having split apart over time, yet it continues to live and grow. This remarkable survivor isn't just a tree, it's a testament to endurance, a direct, living link to a past so distant it's hard to even imagine. 1. Scotland has more redheads than anywhere else. While the image of a fiery-haired Scot is a popular trope, it's one that is firmly rooted in fact. Scotland is the global epicenter for red hair. An incredible 13% of the native population are natural redheads, the highest proportion on the planet. But the story goes even deeper into the nation's DNA. Scientists estimate that a staggering 40% of Scots carry the recessive gene for red hair, even if they don't display it themselves. This genetic quirk is a mutation of the MC1R gene, which controls pigment production. One popular theory suggests this trait offered an evolutionary advantage in Scotland's often overcast climate, allowing for more efficient production of vitamin D in low sunlight. For a trait to appear, a child must inherit the gene from both parents, making every redhead a product of a unique and ancient genetic lottery. Far from being a simple stereotype, this vibrant hair color is a genuine and visible marker of Scottish heritage. 1. The bagpipes weren't originally Scottish. The haunting sound of the great Highland bagpipe is so synonymous with Scotland that it feels woven into the very fabric of the glens and mountains. But this iconic instrument has a surprisingly international and ancient history. The concept of a bag-fed reed pipe actually originated thousands of years ago, with early versions appearing in places like ancient Egypt. The Roman Emperor Nero was said to have played a version called the tibia utricularis. As the Roman Empire expanded, so did the instrument, spreading across Europe and Asia. Scotland, however, didn't just adopt the bagpipe, it transformed it. The Scots developed the powerful, lung-driven Great Highland bagpipe, an instrument perfectly suited for the open landscape and the battlefield. It became so integral to clan life that, after the failed Jacobite Rising of 1745, it was classified as an instrument of war and banned. This act only cemented its status as a powerful symbol of Scottish identity and rebellion. Scotland may not have invented the bagpipe, but it undoubtedly perfected it and gave it a soul. 1. Scotland's national animal is a unicorn. While other nations chose powerful beasts like the lion or the eagle, Scotland opted for something a little more magical. Since the 15th century, the country's official national animal has been the unicorn. This choice was no accident of whimsy, it was a powerful political statement. In Celtic mythology, the unicorn represented purity, nobility, and power. It was also seen as a wild, untamable creature. Crucially, lore depicted the unicorn as the natural enemy of the lion, the very animal that appeared on the English royal coat of arms. Choosing the unicorn was a defiant symbol of Scotland's independence and refusal to be subjugated. When you see the unicorn on Scottish heraldry, it is often depicted with a golden chain around its neck, broken at the end. This symbolized the immense power of Scotland's kings, strong enough to tame even the wildest of mythical beasts. It's a perfect, fantastical representation of the proud and untamed Scottish spirit. 1. Golf was invented in Scotland. From the manicured greens of Augusta to courses all over the world, millions enjoy the game of golf. And for this global pastime, we have 15th century Scotland to thank. The game originated on the windy, sandy coastal strips known as links, where shepherds would pass the time hitting pebbles into rabbit holes with sticks. It became so popular, in fact, that it was seen as a threat to national security. In 1457, King James II of Scotland famously banned both golf and football because they were distracting his men from essential archery practice. Luckily for the world, the ban didn't last. The game flourished, and its rules were eventually formalized in the town of St. Andrews, now revered as the spiritual home of golf. The equipment evolved from gnarled sticks and leather balls stuffed with feathers, to the high-tech drivers and precision-engineered balls of today. What began as a simple diversion on the Scottish coast has evolved into one of the world's most beloved and challenging sports. 1. Scotland has nearly 800 islands. Scotland's mainland is famous for its dramatic beauty, but its coastline is fringed by an astonishing archipelago of nearly 800 islands. While only about 100 of them are inhabited, each island group possesses a unique character and history. To the far north lie the Shetland and Orkney Islands. Shetland, closer to Norway than to Edinburgh, is steeped in Norse heritage, with its own distinct dialect and traditions. Orkney is a treasure trove of Neolithic history, home to the 5,000-year-old village of Skara Brae, which predates both Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids. Further south are the Hebrides, divided into the inner and outer chains. This is the heartland of Gaelic culture, where the ancient language is still spoken. Here you'll find the mystical Isle of Skye with its jagged mountains, Islay, world-renowned for its peaty single malt whiskies, and the geological wonder of Staffa's Fingal's Cave. These islands are not just geographical features, they are vibrant communities and ruggedly beautiful worlds unto themselves. 1. The deep-fried Mars bar originated here. And finally, we come to a culinary invention that is quintessentially Scottish in its audacity: the deep-fried Mars bar. This infamous artery-clogging delicacy was born in 1995 at the Cairn Fish Bar, a chip shop in Stonehaven, supposedly as a result of a schoolboy dare. A Mars chocolate bar is chilled, dipped in the same batter used for fish and sausages, and plunged into a deep fat fryer. The result is a molten chocolate core inside a hot, crispy shell. When the story broke, it created a global media frenzy, becoming a shorthand for the perceived unhealthiness of the Scottish diet. But for many Scots, it's viewed with a wry sense of humor. It represents a fearless, no-nonsense approach to food, and a playful, rebellious spirit. It's a bizarre, delicious, and slightly absurd creation that perfectly captures a side of the Scottish character that doesn't take itself too seriously. 1. Scotland's castles number over 2,000. This staggering figure gives Scotland the highest concentration of castles in all of Europe, with roughly one for every 100 square miles. These are not just piles of stone, they are the very anchors of Scottish history. From imposing royal residences like Stirling Castle, the childhood home of Mary Queen of Scots, to the hauntingly beautiful ruins of Dunnottar, perched defiantly on a cliff against the North Sea, each structure has a saga to tell. Many began as simple wooden forts, evolving over centuries into formidable stone tower houses and grand baronial estates. They were the power bases of mighty clans, the stages for bloody battles, and the silent witnesses to political intrigue. Each castle tells a story of battles fought, kingdoms won, and legends born, their weathered walls echoing with the ghosts of the past. 1. Edinburgh was the first UNESCO City of Literature. In 2004, the Scottish capital received this prestigious and inaugural designation, a testament to a literary heritage that is woven into the very fabric of its streets. This is a city built on stories. Its legacy stretches back to the Scottish Enlightenment, when thinkers like David Hume and Adam Smith made Edinburgh a hub of intellectual fervor. It became home to literary giants like the national poet Robert Burns and Sir Walter Scott, whose historical novels romanticize the nation's past and whose monument dominates the city's skyline. It's the city where Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, a medical student at the university, found inspiration for the logical mind of Sherlock Holmes. This tradition continues today with world-renowned authors like Ian Rankin and J.K. Rowling, who famously penned early Harry Potter chapters in the city's cafes. Edinburgh isn't just a backdrop for literature, it's an active participant, a muse for centuries of storytellers. 1. Scotland's national dish, haggis. Often misunderstood, haggis is a triumph of resourceful nose-to-tail cooking. This savory pudding combines minced sheep's heart, liver and lungs with onion, oatmeal suet, and a peppery blend of spices. While its exact origins are debated, this hearty, nutritious meal was the perfect sustenance for hard-working folk in a challenging landscape. Today, it's most famously celebrated on Burns Night, January 25th, honoring the poet Robert Burns. The haggis is piped into the room, and a host performs the famous Address to a Haggis, a poem that praises the great chieftain of the puddin' race, before ceremonially plunging a knife into it. Served with neeps and tatties, mashed turnips and potatoes, it's a cultural icon, but it's not just for special occasions. You'll find it on breakfast plates in gourmet restaurants and even deep-fried in chip shops, a testament to its enduring and beloved status. 1. The kilt has ancient Highland roots. The iconic kilt began as the Philid Moor or Great Kilt, a far more versatile garment than its modern descendant. This was a single, long piece of tartan cloth, expertly pleated and belted at the waist. The remaining fabric could be draped over the shoulder, pulled up as a hood against the driving rain, or used as a warm blanket for nights spent in the heather. It was the ultimate all-purpose garment for life in the rugged Highlands. Following the Jacobite defeat at Culloden in 1746, the Dress Act banned the kilt and tartan in an attempt to crush clan culture. This act of suppression, however, had the opposite effect, transforming the kilt into a powerful symbol of Scottish identity and defiance. When the ban was repealed, the kilt was enthusiastically revived, evolving into the tailored small kilt we know today. Each clan's tartan, with its unique pattern or set, tells a story of heritage, loyalty, and enduring Highland pride. 1. Whisky was born in Scotland. Known simply as Scotch, this world-renowned spirit has its origins in the monasteries of medieval Scotland. The first written record of distillation dates to 1494, when the Exchequer rolls noted an order of malt for a Friar John Core to make aqua vitae, Latin for water of life. In Gaelic, this became Whisky Beata, which was eventually anglicized to whisky. The magic lies in a simple process perfected over centuries. Malted barley is mixed with pure Scottish water, fermented and then distilled twice in magnificent copper pot stills. But the true character is forged during maturation. By law, Scotch must age in oak casks in Scotland for at least 3 years, slowly absorbing color and complex flavors from the wood. The country's distinct whiskey regions each produce a unique style, from the light, floral drams of the lowlands to the rich, fruity malts of Speyside and the powerfully smoky, peated whiskies from the island of Islay. It is more than a drink, it is liquid history, a taste of the Scottish landscape itself. 1. The Stone of Destiny, Scotland's Coronation Relic. This unassuming block of red sandstone, also known as the Stone of Scone, is one of the most potent symbols of Scottish nationhood. For centuries, it was the sacred object upon which Scottish kings were inaugurated, imbuing them with sovereignty. Its history took a dramatic turn in 1296, when King Edward II of England seized it as a spoil of war and had it taken to Westminster Abbey. There, it was built into a special coronation chair, a deliberate act to symbolize England's dominion over Scotland. For 700 years it remained in London, until Christmas Day 1950, when 4 Scottish students staged a daring raid and smuggled the stone back home. Though it was recovered months later, their act reignited national pride. Finally, in 1996, the stone was officially returned to Scotland in a momentous ceremony, and now rests in Edinburgh Castle. A powerful emblem of resilience, it is a stone that has witnessed the crowning of monarchs and the unwavering spirit of a nation. 1. The Highland Games tradition. Long before they were a spectacle for visitors, the Highland Games were a serious business. Clan chieftains used these gatherings to recruit the strongest and fastest men for their retinues. The events are a direct link to the skills needed for Highland warfare. The iconic caber toss, for instance, isn't about distance but precision. The goal is to flip the massive log so it lands perfectly straight, as if bridging a stream. Other heavy events like the stone put and the Scottish hammer throw are raw tests of explosive power, but it's not all brute strength. The intricate footwork of Highland dancing, originally performed by male warriors over swords to demonstrate agility and stamina, is a key part of the competition. All of this is set to the stirring sound of pipe bands competing for supremacy. Today the games are a vibrant celebration of Scottish culture, a family-friendly festival of strength, skill and heritage that connects modern Scots to their warrior past. 1. Scotland's weather can change 4 times a day. The old Scottish saying 4 seasons in one day isn't an exaggeration, it's a daily reality. You might wake up to a crisp, frosty morning, enjoy a picnic lunch under a warm sun, get caught in a sudden torrential downpour in the afternoon, and then witness a spectacular double rainbow as the evening skies clear. This remarkable volatility is a direct result of Scotland's unique geographical position. It's a battleground of atmospheric forces, caught between the moist, temperate air of the Atlantic, carried by the Gulf Stream, and the colder, drier air masses from continental Europe and the Arctic. This constant clash means the weather is perpetually in flux. For locals, it means always being prepared. A waterproof jacket is a year-round essential, and the art of layering is perfected from a young age. But this same weather is what sculpts the iconic Scottish landscape, creating the lush, emerald green glens and the dramatic, brooding skies that have inspired artists and captivated travelers for centuries. 1. Scotland has its own official languages. While English is spoken everywhere, Scotland is officially a multilingual nation, proudly recognizing two indigenous languages, Scottish Gaelic and Scots. It's crucial to understand they are not the same. Scottish Gaelic, or Gaedhlig, is a Celtic language with ancient roots, closely related to Irish. It was once the dominant language of the Highlands and Islands, the tongue of the clans. After centuries of suppression, it's now undergoing a powerful revival through dedicated Gaelic medium schools and media, like the BBC Alba television channel. Scots, on the other hand, is a Germanic language, a sister language to English, that evolved in the lowlands. It boasts a rich literary history, most famously through the poetry of Robert Burns. Words like we for small, ken for no, and bra for fine are part of everyday speech. These languages are more than just words. They are living vessels of culture, preserving centuries of unique stories, songs, and a distinct Scottish worldview. 1. The famous Edinburgh Festival is the world's largest arts festival. Every August, the population of Scotland's capital city nearly doubles as it transforms into the undisputed global hub of arts and culture. What the world knows as the Edinburgh Festival is actually a collection of several distinct festivals happening all at once. There's the prestigious International Festival, featuring world-class opera, theater, and music. Then there's the colossal Edinburgh Festival Fringe, the largest open-access arts festival on the planet, where anyone with a story to tell and a venue to hire can put on a show. Its origins trace back to 1947, when 8 theater groups arrived uninvited to the main festival and performed on its fringe. That rebellious, inclusive spirit defines it today, with thousands of performances from stand-up comedy in pub basements to avant-garde theater. Alongside these run the spectacular Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, the International Book Festival, and the Art Festival, creating an explosion of creativity that completely takes over the city. 1. Scotland's battle history shaped Europe. The rugged Scottish landscape is soaked in the blood of battles that not only forged the nation's identity but also sent ripples across the continent. At the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314, Robert the Bruce led a vastly outnumbered Scottish army to a decisive victory against England's Edward II. Using brilliant tactics and the formidable spear formations known as schiltrons, Bruce secured Scotland's independence for the next 400 years. Centuries later, the Battle of Culloden in 1746 marked a tragic and brutal end to the Jacobite dream of restoring the Stuart monarchs. The swift defeat of Bonnie Prince Charlie's army was followed by a ruthless suppression of Highland culture, with the banning of tartan, the Gaelic language, and the dismantling of the ancient clan system. These conflicts, from the heroic triumphs to the heartbreaking defeats, are etched into the Scottish psyche, fostering a powerful sense of resilience and a fierce, enduring pride. 1. A country with no snakes. For anyone with a fear of snakes, Scotland is a paradise. It's one of the very few countries in the world with no native snake population. While Irish legend credits St. Patrick for their absence, Scotland's snake-free status is purely a result of Ice Age geology. During the last glacial period, the land was buried under ice sheets up to a kilometer thick, making it completely uninhabitable for cold-blooded reptiles. As the ice retreated and the land warmed, Britain was temporarily connected to mainland Europe by a land bridge, allowing wildlife to migrate north. However, snakes move slowly. By the time they had repopulated what is now England, rising sea levels had flooded the land bridge, creating the English Channel and cutting off their path. They simply ran out of time to reach Scotland. The only native reptile you might mistake for a snake is the slow worm, but it's actually a legless lizard, a harmless resident of this serpent-free land. 1. The Scots invented many everyday things. For a small nation, Scotland has had a disproportionately massive impact on the modern world, thanks to an incredible legacy of invention and discovery, much of it born from the Scottish Enlightenment. Edinburgh-born Alexander Graham Bell gave us the telephone. John Logie Baird pioneered television. Alexander Fleming's discovery of penicillin revolutionized medicine and has saved hundreds of millions of lives. While James Watt didn't invent the steam engine, his crucial improvements made it efficient enough to power the entire industrial revolution. But the list goes on and on. The pneumatic tire, the waterproof Macintosh raincoat, the bicycle pedal, the toaster, and the use of chloroform as an anesthetic are all Scottish innovations. This phenomenal output of ingenuity, which also includes radar, insulin, and refrigeration, is a testament to a historic Scottish emphasis on education and a culture of relentless curiosity that changed the world forever. 1. The surprising cost of living and travel in Scotland. Scotland can have a reputation for being pricey, and while a trip to Edinburgh during the festival can certainly strain your wallet, the country as a whole is surprisingly accessible for budget-conscious adventurers. The key is to look beyond the city center hotels and tourist traps. Accommodation options range from affordable hostels and cozy B&Bs to a unique network of bothies, simple, free-to-use shelters in remote areas maintained for hikers. When it comes to food, skip the fine dining and embrace the local culture of hearty pub meals, savory pies from a bakery, or a classic fish supper. Most importantly, Scotland's greatest attraction is its breathtaking natural landscape, and accessing it is almost entirely free. Thanks to the Land Reform Act of 2003, Scotland has a right to roam, giving everyone the freedom to hike, camp, and explore most of the nation's land and inland water. Add to that the many world-class national museums and galleries that offer free admission, and you'll find that Scotland's true treasures can be enjoyed without spending a fortune. Scotland continues to surprise and inspire travelers from around the world. From ancient mysteries to modern innovations, Scotland's story is far from over. Thank you for joining Life in Facts documentary on this incredible journey through Scotland's secrets. Subscribe for more fascinating documentaries that reveal the world's most incredible hidden truths.